Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
This early Saturday morning. This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here for a quick review of last night's episode of SmackDown. As currently as I'm recording this, we are about 2 hours and 40 minutes away from WWE's Backlash 2024, taking place in, as I heard correctly pronounced last night, Lyon, France. You know what I'm saying? Lyon, France, wherever, like I said in the preview. But it's Lyon, France. And this episode of SmackDown took place there as well last night. Normally, when they go overseas, SmackDown, of course, is pre-taped in America. But I'm guessing that it sounds like they're trying to do more of like the B-level shows overseas. Because of that, because it looks like whenever they do King of the Ring in a few weeks in Saudi Arabia, they're going to have SmackDown in Saudi Arabia as well. So if that's the deal, cool. Because even though, of course, I was never a fan of the Saudi Arabia shows, I know like if Vince was still around and these were blood money, you can't take away, because something that I for one of the first times I believe I've ever done in a review that impacted my grade, because if it wasn't for one thing, I would say this would be like a decent to solid episode. Like a typical go-home episode that just, set up for a little bit down the line or whatnot. Had a couple little things that interest me. One thing that did disappoint me, though, which was that tag title match. I'll be honest. That did kind of fall flat, if I'm being honest. Because it ended with the flatliner, of course. But it did kind of disappoint me. I thought they made the Street Profits look like chumps in that match. But, it's whatever. But one thing that I think I never graded, I don't even know if I even impacted it with my Backlash grade last year. Because I feel the same way now going into Backlash today. Thanks to the crowd we got last night. Because last year's Backlash, the crowd in Puerto Rico was insane. They were awesome. Like, they're those wrestling crowds that really lift your wrestling spirit. The crowd in Lyon, France, oh my goodness. Unreal. They were so loud, so energetic, that apparently they were getting text messages to warn people about how loud it could get. Which is unreal. I don't think I ever even mentioned it even happening in America. That alone could definitely also picture the idea of eventually a WrestleMania being overseas. And speaking of which, apparently there is supposed to be an announcement sometime today, a major announcement. And rumors are it could be of next year's WrestleMania location. Now, I've heard that Minneapolis was originally a front runner. That's off the table. I've heard rumors also about Vegas being the case also for next year. I'm not going to lie, with how they're doing it now, because normally they just announce it and that's it. Well, then again, that's when Vince is around. But I don't know if it's because because I've heard rumors they may wait until May to do WrestleMania next year. Part of me kind of wonders if maybe WrestleMania 41 could be overseas. Just maybe wondering, maybe that could be the special announcement. It wouldn't surprise me. But I think it's either going to be Vegas or overseas. But based off also like the rumors I'm hearing, I'm still keeping my expectations for Backlash low. But I am wondering, could we be possibly getting something bigger like we got last year? So I'm not gonna totally I'm gonna keep my expectations low. I think it's gonna be fun, especially if we got the crowd like we got for SmackDown. But I feel like Triple H might have a couple little curveballs planned for us for this show. How that'll go down, we'll have to wait and see though. But I'm looking forward to it. But we are, of course, going to first review SmackDown. Again, normally I wouldn't review Raw and SmackDown, but I did this week because of the draft. I also got to get back into doing some Wolfenstein videos last night. And hopefully sometime this weekend, if not this week, I will get back to the Roller Coaster Tycoon Let's Play as well. Because the next part I got to do is only a 2-year objective. So hopefully I can get those knocked out pretty quick. But let's talk about it. And there's also a couple little pieces of news as well. There was some NXT cuts. Really no one big except for one that I knew of. But I'm going to wait until that's officially confirmed before I do a brief video talking about that release. And also, it was announced too that Seth Rollins has in fact re-signed with WWE as well. So he is going nowhere as well, like Drew McIntyre. I'm guessing Becky Lynch will probably re-sign as well, as her contract was supposed to be ending sometime this year as well. I don't see her leaving either, if I'm being honest. I mean, she could. She's done like everything she can here in WWE, but I don't think she's leaving. I think she's staying as well. But we're gonna roll into the show. We opened up, like I said, off the charts. Crowd was just hot, coming up with all these chants. Well, I know they were speaking probably in French, and I don't know French, so I didn't know what they were saying, but still, they were reacting. They were having fun. They were giving, of course, in this first match, Bayley was like the hottest thing for sure. The, hey, Bayley, ooh, I wanna know if you be my girl. If I didn't mention before, by the way, I literally rolled out of bed about a half an hour ago, so how I got this energy already is unreal. But, must mean also I got a good night's sleep, too. The opening match was an 8-woman tag match. Bayley and Naomi and Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill taking on Damage Control's Dakota Kai and the Kabuki Warriors, No Io Sky, and Tiffany Stratton. Again, match was fun. Again, with the crowd being into it helped it as well. I did like, because before this match, I was thinking, before WrestleMania, they were teasing, telling a story about how, Bianca still doesn't trust Bayley despite her, being away from Damage Control now. Which, again, why would she? Bayley put her through hell for the past couple of years. And this whole thing leading to this tag match today is probably going to lead to, the end of it for sure. As, I definitely don't see Kabuki Warriors dropping the tag titles, sadly. I think we're going to put them on Bianca and Jade. And yes, I still do think Jade needs work. I don't think she is as big of a star yet as they're making her out to be. I won't lie, though. I did think she looked better in this match. I thought she was a little more fluent in the ring, a little more confident, a little more, I definitely thought she looked better than she did at WrestleMania. Not saying she was bad at WrestleMania, but WrestleMania, it's she's good, but she's not as big, I feel like, as they're making her seem to be yet. She will be someday, though. Just give her the time. But again, not yet. But I did like that this match, they kind of brought back that little tension between Bianca and Bayley. Because they're both down at SmackDown. I'm pretty sure at some point we will be getting a title match. And again, I'm hoping that does lead to a Bianca heel turn. Because again, Bianca needs that heel turn so bad right now. Because there was a moment in the match where Bayley tagged herself in and Bianca took exception to that. And whenever Damage Control had taken out Jade and Naomi, and Bayley needed someone to tag in, Bianca was the only one there. Bianca didn't extend the olive branch. So she had to wait until Jade Cargill got back to the ring. That's when Jade got in for a little bit. And like I said again, she looked better. Again, she's getting better. But again, I just don't think she's the big star yet that they're wanting us to believe she is. Not yet. But the babyfaces, of course, would go on to win the match. And later backstage, there was Kayla Braxton having an interview with Jay Cargill and Bianca Belair about their tag match today. And Jay says they're confident they will take care of business at Backlash. And Bianca says she's sick of talking about damage control and she's ready to be done with them for good. She's been dealing with them for 2 years. And she was saying all that while then, as she's saying this, looking towards Bayley, who was sitting on the side right there with Naomi. And Bayley, of course, just showed some frustration and walked off. And then Jay tried to, of course, calm her down. But obviously, again, can you blame her? Bianca's been dealing with damage control for 2 years now. And now, of course, people are starting to like Bayley. But, Bayley put Bianca through hell. So, again, this continuity stuff I enjoy. I am glad, though, we are getting back to this. Because, again, Bianca desperately needs a character change. There was also an interview with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller cutting a promo about how to defend their tag titles, and Waller complained about a smell being too strong. Theory thought it was cheese, and Grayson says that's what the audience smells like. But they claim they smell the smoke, and because they're just poking fun at the Street Profits for their tag match. If I can mention that really quick, though, the tag matches later on in the show, I didn't like that tag match. I expected better, to be honest. I don't know why. It just felt like a match that... It just felt like a brief segment that the Street Profits just didn't really get to showcase much at all, if I'm being honest. I just wasn't... I wasn't a fan of it. I just thought it was too short. I felt like, they didn't make the Street Profits look good in this match. And... they just won with a very weak flatliner, I thought. I wasn't a fan. I was just kind of mad about it. I wasn't a big fan of it. Kind of disappointed, to be honest. But I think, though, I think they're going to keep the belts, though, on A-Town Down Under, and they're eventually going to drop them to DIY. I think DIY is probably going to get the chance to be the face of SmackDown's tag team division for the next year. I think, for the next year, I think they will at least be in the run with those tag titles. Just my opinion. And, of course, Johnny Gargano has history with both Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. So yeah, I think that's the eventual plan for the tag titles. But kind of jumping around there, but getting that out there real quick. I also like this backstage segment. So they recapped how Carmelo Hayes was a first-round draft pick last week, which I still love the fact they gave him that rub. And he had that nice showcase match. With Cody Rhodes also, which was outstanding. And Carmelo Hayes, though, kind of got a little cocky. He went backstage and he declared to Nick Aldis that he wants to be in the King of the Ring tournament, which Aldis seems fine to that. Bobby Lashley, though, comes in and congratulates Carmelo Hayes on being drafted to SmackDown and says, "You ever need anything, you can hit him up." Carmelo's like, I'm good. I got everything figured out. And Lashley says, "Well, you got everything figured out, though. Why did you lose last week?" And it's not just about shooting, but about making these shots count. And then Carmelo goes, "Oh, well, when's the next time you shot your shot, Bobby?" And Lashley told him, "Be careful who you disrespect." So, not sure I've seen to a first round match at the King of the Ring tournament between Lashley and Carmelo, which again, I like that they're actually teasing, these first round matches could be the case. As far as King of the Ring goes, again, I still think the favorite to win is Gunther. I'm wondering, though, I thought of this the other day, because I'm pretty sure we're going to have a Raw superstar face a SmackDown superstar at in the finals at the King of the Ring pay-per-view, unless they do semifinals and then finals. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I am intrigued, again, about King of the Ring being a pay-per-view again. And again, they are built up as a bigger deal. They're not just throwing a bunch of low-card guys into the tournament like they normally do. They're actually getting some main event caliber talent into it. So I don't know what we can get. I don't know if we can get Carmelo Hayes to the finals. I see Bobby Lashley go to the finals. Because I still think the person who's going to win this tournament is Gunther. I did kind of wonder, though. And this is just an idea. What if Giovanni Vinci went to the finals for SmackDown? Because, again, Triple H does not ignore the continuity. He may veer away for it, but he does get back to it. Like, even if it doesn't work, he finishes it out. So, I'm wondering, since they wrote Giovanni Vinci out of Imperium and then just drafted him straight to SmackDown, I wonder if maybe, just maybe, they could do this. This is me probably thinking a little too far-fetched. What if they had Giovanni Vinci win the SmackDown side and the finals are Gunther versus Giovanni Vinci? Because I do think Giovanni Vinci is a great wrestler. I've seen him have some singles matches in NXT and NXT UK before him and Ludwig Kaiser teamed up and then eventually for Imperium. He is good. I feel like they just haven't allowed him to outshine Gunther and Ludwig yet. So it could be kind of like a way for Vinci trying to get one last rub on Imperium, but of course Gunther wins. But I thought about that. We'll see how that goes. But so far, King of the Ring is pretty stacked. I would predict they at least have like semifinal matches and then the finals at King of the Ring. I think they should do that. They may just do the finals, but make it a little more interesting. It's the pay-per-view with it. So we'll see what goes down when we get to the finals. Well, for the pay-per-view for that build. But I did like the segment with Bobby Lashley and Carmelo Hayes as well. Kind of showing like that cockier side with Carmelo, keeping him pretty heelish still, looks like. The feud between them two would be pretty interesting though, but we'll see what goes down. We also had a tag match with the new Catch Republic and the Final Testament. Match was decent. I am glad the Final Testament won though. They needed a victory. I'm hoping them moving over to Raw is like a fresh coat of paint for them. It's a fresh start. Because they should be a stable that's clicking. But so far, I feel like they've just had them there just to say, hey, we're here. But it's like, this is a group that I want to dominate. Like, I know Authors of Pain, when booked to dominate, like they were in NXT, they're unstoppable. I know Karrion Kross is very artistic. And again, he can be also unstoppable in the ring. I mean, heck, when you brought him back after he had been gone for a little over a year, and of course you basically ruined his momentum at the end of his last run, you brought him back and set the bar for him that high. I want to see him versus Roman Reigns. Heck, I still want to see Karrion Kross versus Roman Reigns. But it still feels like that they're not booking them as strong as they should. I'm glad they won, don't get me wrong, but I thought New Catch Republic, who I think are awesome, by the way, too. Again, Tyler Bate, big, strong boy. As I've always said, can literally wrestle any style, and Pete Dunne is just a world champion waiting to happen as well. I still just feel like, though, that they're booking AOP kind of weak. New Catch Republic did dominate them most of this match, I thought. But they won. Hopefully that's a step in the right direction again for the group. And also, I gotta be honest too, why hasn't Paul Ellering been cutting any promos yet? Like, why did you bring him back if he's not cutting promos? Like, him cutting the promos, like, setting the table, like, reading the chapters or whatnot for the book of the Authors of Pain or whatever you call it in NXT, that also kind of boosts him as well. Give him some more microphone time while he's here. But we'll see what happens when they get over to Raw. Then we had this backstage segment where Paul Heyman is chilling with Nick Aldis. Apparently, Paul Heyman had asked to cancel the match between the Bloodline and Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. And he says, okay, I tried to tell you, but whatever happens in this match is now on Aldis, not on the Bloodline. And as Heyman goes to leave, Aldis goes, oh, is that by orders of the tribal chief? Which Heyman came back with a laugh and it's like, that's not funny. And then somehow, this got interesting. Because Heyman went on this rant. And then somehow, he spilled the secret that he has actually not spoken to Roman Reigns since WrestleMania. Which Aldis was shocked, and he goes, wait, then how did Roman pull himself out of the draft? Because last week he said Roman pulled himself out of the draft and is now a free agent. Heyman admits that it was him who pulled him from the draft because he can't subject Roman to the chaos going on within the Bloodline right now. He used that to, again, campaign for the cancellation of the tag match at Backlash. And Aldis told him if he can pull Reigns from the draft, maybe he can convince Kevin Owens and Randy Orton to back out of the match as well. Next up is the RKO show, so you have a shot. And then we had the segment, the RKO show with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, who are hosting the show. Of course, Randy Orton still coming out, still just like very, very thankful and happy. I originally predicted the idea of him possibly turning, because I still think the two outcomes for the tag match today are either going to be Randy Orton turning on Kevin Owens, or Jacob Fatu is going to debut, I feel like, and help the Bloodline win. But I still feel, especially with how hot this crowd is, I still feel like Orton's kind of in that stage where he can't help but still, get emotional and be very grateful for, the opportunities he's gotten since, he was gone for 18 months. He didn't think he would be back. Maybe it's not quite yet the time to turn Randy Orton heel yet. But I think eventually it's going to happen, especially since both him and Cody are on SmackDown right now. You got to do that feud. Unless you do Cody as the heel, Randy as the face, but I don't know. But anyways, they come out, they say their things, and of course they mention how, of course, originally it was supposed to be just the two of them, but then they were getting call after call from Paul Heyman, and then they finally agreed to let Paul Heyman be a guest on the show. Of course, when Heyman comes out, Owens tells Orton, you can't RKO him right away. And Orton says, I know, I'm an out of nowhere type of man. Like, poking fun, having fun with it, which that was fun. And then, of course, they ask, what does Heyman want? And the fans interrupt to say, we want Roman. Orton cringes and goes, guys, he's not here. And Heyman says, more than you'll ever know, I want Roman too. Because obviously, Heyman does not feel safe with what the Bloodline is up to right now. He went on, of course, though, to say he has a great respect for both men. And they competed with Roman for his title, and he understands that, but the rules with Solo and Tama Tonga are different. Things are different with them, which I like that they're emphasizing that. They should do themselves, their families, and their fans a favor, though, and please, back out of this match. He's afraid for them, which, again, I'm just like, I still, agree that it's a different tone with the Bloodline. They had Kevin Owens bleed on TV a couple weeks ago. Bleed! And I don't think that was an accident either at this point. Orton then called Heyman a piece of trash, and they don't even consider what they want for him. And then Orton asked him, though, but I must ask, though, who is the real tribal chief? And Heyman says he thinks the whole world knows there is only one tribal chief. Before Heyman can talk further, though, we got Sol Sikoa and Tama Tonga crashing the show and attacking them. They had a big brawl breakout. And they, of course, also were brawling backstage after the main event segment. We had LA Knight take on Angel Garza in a quick match. Just give a pop for LA Knight. And for him just to cut a brief promo. It basically said he announced himself in for King of the Ring as well. And Santos basically did as well. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a first round matchup. Okay, I mean, again, I like Santos. I love LA Knight. A match between two of them, though, Not feeling it right now, but, whatever. I'm fine with it. But they have that match. And then we also have a backstage with Carlito being asked, why'd you attack Dragon Lee? And it was a typical answer we all expected. He mentioned he's been away from WWE for a long time. All he wanted was a match with his family at WrestleMania. But when Ray chose Dragon Lee, he took matters into his own hands. It wasn't personal. He just did what he had to do. And I like how he starts saying, and the whole plan would have worked too if it wasn't for, and then that's when Dragon Lee came in throwing punches, and then they broke it off and whatnot. But I like it. I was thinking, what are you going to say? I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids and whatnot. But again, as I've been saying, it's just the same story with everybody with Rey Mysterio. Why does everybody turn on Rey Mysterio? Like, it's gotten a little old. Like, again, Carlito being a heel, I'm not opposed to that. Because, again, I know Carlito was a heel for most of his first run WWE. It's just, again, the fact that he's feuding with Rey Mysterio over the same thing we just got done having Rey feuding with Santos with. Rey feuding with Dominic over, which I guess it's not over with Rey and Dominic. But, again, Dominic can't wrestle for another 6 to 8 months because of his Tommy John surgery. But, again, it's the same thing over and over again, but whatever. We had that tag match, and then the last segment was a face-to-face with Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. When Cody did his usual opening and he even spoke a little bit of French, AJ cut him off and said, basically, they were trying to add a little bit of heat to the match. And I get what they did. It wasn't anything like super special, but, it helped a little bit. Styles went off because Cody has had his entire path laid out for him. And he says he had a little too much help from legends and Hall of Famers to win the title. Which wonders if that does kind of expose Cody a wee bit, but AJ says how he had to do it all himself. And he's going to do it all himself again, and he takes out Cody at Backlash. Cody responds by getting upset, saying he's trying to downplay his accomplishments. He won't be looking at AJ as a phenomenal at Backlash. He'll be looking at him simply as his first. And it's going to be too sweet. They teased doing the too sweet sign until AJ slapped him and then took off, basically. Okay, try to add and then we saw the backstage brawl with Kevin Owens, Orton, and the Bloodline. That's how it showed up the air. But again, they're basically just teasing this Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. It's basically being booked as a first time ever match. Not a whole lot of heat between it, if I'm being honest, but it'll still be good. Although I am worried. I did read somewhere that there really isn't a big program planned for Cody until The Rock and Roman come back, which that does concern me a little bit, especially the fact that a lot of people are definitely being a little hard on Cody. I mean, I get it. So far, I can agree. He has been a little more interesting as the hunter rather than the champion, but, I feel like right now it's kind of a thing where, Cody wants to, give back what we didn't have for this title for a while. And that's opportunity. And eventually, he will develop. Could he maybe turn heel in next year? I can see it possibly happening. Again, with some stuff they've done, especially with AJ saying how you've had your whole path laid out for you and whatnot, while I had to work to get back to get to WWE, I was kept away from it for so long. He's speaking some truth there. So that could kind of plant some seeds there too. But the match is still going to be phenomenal today, no pun intended. So I still do look forward to it for this first time ever match. Like I said though, I know Cody's probably going to retain, but just saying, what if they had the OC turn heel, get involved, and help AJ win the title? That would be good, because again, I do worry the OC itself may be damaged goods, but I'm sure at some point Cody would win it back. But that would be a little interesting curveball if they did that today. But we'll just have to wait and see. But guys, that's going to do it. That's my review of SmackDown this week. Again, because of the crowd, I gave it a B. Plus, also, again, there were some little things that I enjoyed. Like I said, I like the fact that they got back to the Bayley and Bianca tension. I of course, like that curveball thrown in there of how Paul Heyman revealed that he hasn't spoken to Roman since WrestleMania, and he pulled Roman from the draft. And I still like that they're making it seem like that Solo and Tama Tonga are much more dangerous than Roman. And honestly, again, I can believe it. The way they booked him, I can believably believe it. And of course, we also had like the Carmelo Hayes and Bobby Lashley segment I like too. So, some good stuff there. But again, that crowd especially. Again, and if that crowd is how they were last night, how they are for today, we're in for a great show. I'm very excited. I'm excited to see how the crowd is. I think we will still have a fun show for sure. And also, what this big announcement could be. Like I said, I think it's going to be either WrestleMania 41 is going to be either in Vegas next year, or it could be overseas. That's my two predictions, I will say, for this WrestleMania, this announcement today for WrestleMania. Which should be coming soon, because it's already about to be 11 o'clock, and Backlash is in 2 hours, and the kickoff shows start at 12, so we'll see what happens. So guys, once again, what are your guys' thoughts on SmackDown this week? I gave the B. I'll make sure to upload this immediately. Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure also to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content to come on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!